Welcome to my video on function overloading part 2. In previous video of function overloading part 1, we have learned the theoretical concept of function overloading, how to write overloaded function in C++ program by passing different argument list. Now in this part 2 video, I am going to demonstrate you the C++ program to implement the concept of function overloading. The first program we are going to see is write a C++ program to interchange two integer numbers, two float numbers and two characters using function overloading. So here I am going to handle three functions. That is, first function will interchange two integer numbers, second function will interchange two floating point numbers, third function will interchange two characters, and all these three functions will have same name, that is interchange. So this will be the function prototypes, that is interchange, 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 same function name for three functions. First interchange function accepts two integer type of pointers, second interchange function accepts two floating point pointers, and third integer function accepts two character type pointers, and using these pointers the two values will be interchanged. So these are the three functions to which the pointers are passed as arguments. Now let us write a C++ program and execute to interchange these three types of values using function overloading. And now I am going to demonstrate you using dev C++ compiler. So here I have opened dev C++ compiler. Now I am opening the CPP file which I have already created, that is the C++ program to implement program to interchange two integer, float and character values using function overloading. So as usual you have to include the header file here and iostream, then using namespace standard. Now I am going to write the function definition to interchange two integers. So here this is the header line of the function, that is void interchange, then two parameters are passed, that is int star px, int star py. So this is the function which accepts pointers, and using pointer I am going to interchange the values of two variables. So here in the body of the function I require one local variable, temporary variable, that is a temp. Using temp, now I am exchanging or swapping or interchanging the values using pointer, that is temp is equal to star px is equal to star py, and star py is equal to temp, and return. As it is a void function, the return function will return nothing. So like this, here the first function is defined, first interchange function is defined, which will interchange two integer values using pointers. Now on the same line here the second function is defined, here interchange, again the function name is same but the parameters are different, two number of parameters but their data type is float. In previous function the data type of parameters was integer. Now here px and py, these are the floating point pointers, and using these two pointers I am going to interchange the floating point values. For that I will require one float temporary variable, local variable. So I am declaring temp as a float variable which I will use to exchange the values between px and the py pointers. Now here px is pointing to first float value and py is pointing to second float value, and like this here star px will represent the value pointed by px and py is representing the value pointed by py, and using these three steps, temp is equal to star px is equal to star py, and star py is equal to temp, the values of the star px and star py will get interchanged, and hence the actual values of the variables to which these pointers are pointing will get automatically exchanged or interchanged. Then the third function I am going to write here void interchange, which also accepts two arguments or parameters, that is two pointers but their data type is different. Here the pointers are of char type, that is a character type pointers, char star px, char star py, and to exchange these two characters I will require now one local variable of character type. So I am declaring here temp variable of character type, and again as previous two functions, this function body is also same, that is exchanging the values of two characters in terms of pointers star px and star py. Here star px is representing the value pointed by the character pointed by px, and the star py represents the character pointed by py, and like this the values will be exchanged in terms of pointers, and the variables to which these two pointers are pointing, they will also get interchanged or exchanged. Now let us call these three functions in main function. So I am starting here main function, and for here I am going to exchange or interchange two integer variables. So I will require two integer variables. Suppose here I declared x and y as two integer variables. Then for interchanging two floating point values, I will require two floating point variables, let us say a and b. Then for interchanging two characters, I will require two character type variables, let us say ch1 and ch2. Then I will ask the user to enter two integers. Then let us accept the value of x and y variables using scene, and then call the interchange function. So here this is the function call interchange ampersand x and ampersand y. So whenever you are passing pointers as argument to any function, you have to pass the address of the variables. So I am passing here address of x variable and address of y variable as actual parameters, and like this here the interchange will happen between x and y in terms of pointers, and the values of x variable and y variable will get exchanged or interchanged. And now I am printing the exchange or interchange values here using cout. So values after interchange x and y. So like this I have accepted x and y as integers, exchange it, and then displayed the result after interchange. The same thing here is repeated for floating point values. I first displayed the message enter two float values using scene, accepted the value of a and b variable which are float variables. Then function interchange is called using by passing the address of a and address of b as actual parameters, and like this here using these pointers the values of a and b variables get interchanged, and then after interchange the values are displayed using cout. Okay. Then the third function is called here, that is for that I will require the input data that is accepted using scene by displaying the message enter two characters, and ch1 and ch2, these variables are representing here the two characters. So using scene input operation is performed to accept two characters. Then the function is called interchange function is called by passing the address of ch1 and address of ch2, because we are exchanging or interchanging the values in terms of pointers, and that's why here it is required to pass the address of the variables instead of the actual values. I am passing here by reference, and here the ch1 and ch2 will get interchanged, and the output is displayed characters after interchange ch1 and ch2, and like this here the new line will be displayed and written 0. Your main function is over. Now let us compile this program. So I am compiling this program. Let us see here. Now there are 0 errors and 0 warnings. I will now run or execute this program. So I am executing this program. This is the output screen. It is asking to enter two integers. So I will enter two integers. Let us say 25 and 79. Now see the result is displayed values after interchange 79 and 25. So like this their positions are interchanged. Now it is asking to enter two float values. Suppose I enter 12.56 as first float value, and now I am entering 67.89 as second float value, and let us now see whether the values are exchanged or not. Yes, they are exchanged. The positions are exchanged. The first value is 67.89 and second value is 12.56. So exchange or interchange happened successfully. Now here it is asking for two integers. Suppose I enter h and second is m, and let us characters are entered, and now yes, their characters are interchanged, that hm, now it is exchanged to mh. So in this way your program is run successfully. and in this way you can implement the concept of function overloading to interchange two integers, two float values and two character values. Now the second C++ program is the write a C++ program to find distance between 2 points in 2D, that is 2-dimensional, and 3D, that is 3-dimensional space using function overloading. So here there will be two functions having same name, that is the distance function. First function will find the distance between two 2D points and second function will find the distance between two 3D points. So our functions will be implementing this particular formula. The first, that is the distance between 2D points, is calculated like this. This is the formula, that is distance d is equal to square root of x2 minus x1 square plus y2 minus y1 square, where the x1 and y1 are the coordinates of point P1 and x2 and y2 are the coordinates of point P2 in two-dimensional space. Similarly, the distance between 3D points is calculated using this formula, that is the distance between point 1 and point 2 is equal to square root of x2 minus x1 square plus y2 minus y1 square plus z2 minus z1 square. So this is the formula to find the distance between two three-dimensional points, and here also the point P1 is having three coordinates, that is x1, y1, z1. These are the three coordinates, that is x coordinate, y coordinate and z coordinate, and P2 is having also three coordinates x2, y2 and z2. So like this, here the P1 and P2 are two geometrical points, and one is in 2D space and second in 3D space, and we are going to find the distance between these 2 points by implementing the concept of function overloading. So let us write and execute the C++ program using dev C++ compiler. So here is the program, C++ program in dev C++ compiler. So I am demonstrating you, that is the program to find the distance between 2 points in 2D and 3D using function overloading. So here I require two header files, that is iostream and mat.h. Then using namespace standard, as I am using dev C++ compiler. If you use another compiler like turbo C++, then this will not be required. And here now let us define the first function to find the distance between two two-dimensional points. Now for two-dimensional point there are two coordinates, that is two coordinates of point 1 and two coordinates of point 2, that are x1 and y1 for point 1 and x2 and y2 are the coordinates of point 2. So these are the four parameters I am passing. All four are of float type, float x1, float y1. These are the two coordinates of point P1, and float x2 and float y2. These are the two coordinates of point 2. And here this distance function is going to return float value, that is the distance between these 2 points. So to find the distance I will require one local variable, that is dist, and now this dist I am going to calculate by implementing the formula which I have shown to you, that is square root of x2 minus x1 square plus y2 minus y1 square. So this is the formula to find the distance between two-dimensional points. So now the square is find out using power function POW, that is defined in mat.h. That's why I have included a mat.h header file, and sqrt function is going to find the square root of the entire term, and like this the distance will be find out and the same will be written using the return statement. So like this distance function will find out the distance between two-dimensional points. Now here second function I am going to define to find the distance between two 3D points. So now 3D points means there are three coordinates x1, y1, z1 of point 1 and x2, y2 and z2 of point 2, and this distance function is going to find the distance and that is going to return. That's why the return type is float type. Here I will require one local variable dist, that is the distance which is the return value of this particular function. And now let us implement the formula that I have shown to you how to find the distance between two 3D points, that is square root of x2 minus x1 square plus y2 minus y1 square plus z2 minus z1 square. So this mathematical formula is implemented using sqrt function and POW, that is a power function in C++. Both functions are mathematical functions and that are referred from the header file mat.h. Then after calculating this, the returns dist. So distance, this dist with the representing the distance between two 3D points will be written, and like this function will find out the distance and will return it. Now let us call these two functions in main function. Now here I will require the various local variables, that is of floating point x1, y1, then z1, x2, y2, z2. So x1 and y1 and x2 and y2, these two variables will represent 2 points of 2D points, and this 6 x1, y1, z1, x2, y2, z2 will represent 3 coordinates of point 1 and point 2, and dist is our final result to find the distance. So first of all, let us accept two dimensional points, that is x and y coordinates of point 1. So I will display the message, enter x and y coordinates of point 1 using scene. Let us accept the value of x1 and y1 variables which are representing x and y coordinates of point 1. Then let us accept the x and y coordinates for point 2, and again here x2, y2 are representing x and y coordinates of point 2. Accept it using scene, and then call the distance function by passing the 4 parameters x1, y1 and x2, y2. So this function call will pass these parameters and will return the distance between two 2D points, and that is stored in the dist variable. And let us display this result, that is distance between these two 2D points is equal to dist. Now let us go for 3D points, the 3-dimensional points, the distance between two 3-dimensional points. So first of all, I will display the message, that is enter x, y and z coordinates of point 1. Then using scene, accept the values of x1, y1 and z1 variables which are representing 3 coordinates of point 1. Now after that, just display the message to accept the 3 coordinates x, y and z of point 2, and accept the values of x2 and y2 and z2 which are representing 3 coordinates of point 2. And now once we accepted 3 coordinates of point 1 and point 2, now pass it as actual parameters to distance function and to find the distance between two 3D points. So x1, y1, z1 represents point 1, x2, y2 and z2 represents coordinates of point 2, and like this distance function will find out the distance between two 3D points and will return the value. The written value will be stored in dist variable, and here I am displaying the result, that is distance between two 3D points is equal to dist. So in this way the two functions are overloaded, and here the program is implemented. Now let us compile and run this program and check whether the result is coming or not. So this is my output screen. It is asking me to enter x and y coordinates of point 1. So I am entering 4.5, that is point 1, and 3.4 as point 2. So here this is x and y coordinates of point 1. Now it will ask me to enter x and y coordinates of point 2. So second point I am entering suppose minus 6.7 and minus 6.7, this is the first point, and 5.9, this is the second point, and here the distance between two 2D points is calculated as 11.4756. Now it is asking for entering x, y, z coordinates of point 1. So suppose I enter 2, 5 and 8. These are the 3 coordinates of point 1, and I am entering now another 3 coordinates of point 2, that is 12, suppose minus 8 and plus 7. So these are the 3 coordinates of point 2. Let us see whether the result is calculated or not. Yes, the distance between two 3D points is calculated as 16.4317. So in this way the C++ program is successfully implemented using function overloading to find the distance between 2 points in 2D and 3D using dev C++ compiler. Now third program I am going to demonstrate you to find area of different geometrical shapes using function overloading. So here the area of different geometrical shapes, that is various shapes, I am going to consider. The first shape is square. The area of square is calculated as side square. Then circle, second geometrical shape is circle. The area of circle is calculated as pi r square. Then third shape is rectangle. The area is find out using the formula L into B, that is length into breadth. And fourth is area of triangle, the fourth shape, and it is implemented using three sides, that is calculated area of triangle using three sides of triangle ABC. So this is the formula, square root of S into S minus A into S minus B into S minus C, where S is A plus B plus C divided by 2, that is semi-perimeter. So like this, here to implement this formula, four functions will be required. So I am overloading here area function. The first function is accepting one argument of double type. Second area function is also accepting one argument, but the type is float. Third area function is accepting two arguments of float type, while fourth area function is accepting three arguments of float type. All these area functions are returning four float type of value, that is a return value, which is nothing but the area of that particular shape. Now I will demonstrate this particular C++ program using dev C++ compiler. Now this is the C++ program to find area of various geometric shapes using function overloading. So here for that I will require two header files, that is iostream.h and mat.h. Then now here I am going to consider four geometric shapes, that is square, rectangle, circle and triangle. So let us find first of all the area of square. So you know that the area of square means all sides are same, so you can find the square area of square by square of sides. So I will require one argument, that is a side of double type, and here I will find the area using AR local variable. AR is equal to side square, that is side into side, and that same AR, this value is written here using return statement. So like this is the simple area function which accepts one argument, that is a side of square, and if you square it, and it will give you the area of the square. Now let us write another area function, and to find the area of rectangle using length and breadth. So the area function accepts two arguments here, that is L and B of float type, and I will require the local variable AR of float type, and the area is calculated as AR is equal to L into B. Simple formula is implemented, and that AR calculated is written using return statement. And like this area function will return the float type of value, which is nothing but the area of rectangle. The third area function is this, that is to find the area of circle, and the pi r square is the formula. So r is the only value we are going to pass to this function as an argument of float type, and again one AR local variable is used here, and that is calculated using 3.4 into r, that is a pi r square. 3.4 is nothing but the value of pi, and that AR calculated is written here using return statement. So like this I have implemented third function also to calculate the area of circle. And now the last geometric shape I am going to consider is triangle with three sides ABC. So my function will be, first line of the function will be like this. It will accept three arguments, that is ABC, which represent three sides of triangle, and it is going to return the area in terms of float. Now I will require two local variables here, S and R. S is semi-perimeter and AR is the area of triangle. Let us calculate first S, that is the semi-perimeter of the triangle, that as ABC, A plus B plus C divided by 2. And this S I am going to use to find the area by implementing the formula, that is the square root of S into S minus A into S minus B into S minus C, and using the function sqrt, square root, which is defined in mat.h header file, and that AR calculated is written here using return statement. So like this, here I have here first defined the first area function to find the area of square. Second area function is defined to find the area of rectangle. Then third area function is defined to find the area of circle, and fourth area function is defined to find the area of triangle having three sides. Now let us call these overloaded functions in main function. So for that I will require certain local variables, that is length and breadth for rectangle, then side is the side of square, radius is the radius of circle, side 1, side 2, side 3, these are the three sides of triangle, and AR is the float type of area and AR2 is the double type of area. So these are the declarations of various variables which I will require to call the four area functions one by one. So let us go for first of all the square. So enter side of square, that message is displayed here using sout, using scene, the value of side is accepted, and now AR2 is equal to AR of side, that is area function is called by passing one argument, that is a side, and it will calculate the area of square, and the result is displayed here as area of square is equal to AR2. As AR2 is a double type and our area function is also defined above with return type double and the argument also of double type. So here like this the area of square is calculated using area function. Now let us go for rectangle. First of all I will display the message, enter length and breadth of rectangle, and then using scene I will accept the length and breadth values of these variables and pass this length and breadth variables as actual arguments to the area function, and it will calculate the area of rectangle by calling this function area, and will return the value in AR variable, and let us display the result, that is area of rectangle is equal to AR. Similarly now I will go for area of circle. For that I will require radius, accept the radius, that is enter radius of circle, and using scene accept the value of radius and pass this radius as actual argument to the area function here, and this area function will accept this radius as an argument, actual argument, and will calculate the area of circle using that formula pi r square, and will return the value, and the return value will be stored in AR variable. And now I am going to display the AR variable result as area of circle is equal to AR. Now the last geometric function is triangle and having three sides, so I will require input as three sides. So let us display the message, enter three sides of triangle, then using scene accept the values in three variables, sides 1, side 2 and side 3. Pass these three sides of triangle to the area function, and like this area function is called with these three arguments, actual arguments or actual parameters, side 1, side 2 and side 3, and using these three parameters it will calculate the area of triangle and value will be returned. The returning value is stored in AR variable, and now I am going to display the result, that is area of triangle is equal to AR, and return 0, end of the program. So like this this program is implemented to calculate the area of four functions. Let us run or execute this program and find out the results. So the program is running. Now the result screen is displayed. It is asking for side of square, enter side of square. Now I am entering side of square as 12, and it will go that is side square, that is 12 square, that is 144. This is the area of square. Now it is asking for the length and breadth of rectangle. Let us say suppose 15 is the length, and breadth is suppose 8, and length into breadth, that 120 is the area of rectangle. Then it is asking for the radius of circle to find the area of circle. Now I am going to enter the circle radius as 25.5, and here 2041.79 is the area of circle which is calculated and displayed as a result. Now it is asking for three sides of triangle to find the area of triangle. Now I will enter three sides of triangle. Let us say 6.7 is the first, then 8.9 is the second side, and let us say 10 is the third side. And now let us see what is the result. The area of triangle is calculated as 29.1999. So in this way our program is successfully run. It is using the function overloading, and here now you might have understood how to implement the programs using function overloading using dev C++ compiler. Thank you for watching my video on function overloading part 2, in which I have demonstrated 3 C++ programs to implement the concept of function overloading.